Hey everyone, this is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Friday afternoon, March 13th, 2026. We are talking about the weather today all over the country currently and what is coming up over the next 3 or 4 days because we're going to have a pretty turbulent time. This has been pretty much my theme for the week: turbulent weather, active weather, whatever you want to call it. It is March. March tends to be a turbulent month. So we're going to be talking about all of that's going on right now. Actually, we're going to back up and talk a little bit about what has happened this week. And then we have another potential for a severe weather outbreak and severe weather occurring in the middle of the country, sweeping over to the East Coast on Sunday into Monday with a dumping of snow and wind component up north in Michigan. So we're going to be talking about all of that. But before we get started, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out, because that helps me out tremendously. Okay, let's take a look at the country right now and what we're looking at as far as reports are concerned. I'm going to take us out here to the Pacific Northwest and Mountain West here first. We have seen quite a bit of snow out here this week. It is snowing currently and mixed precipitation for Western Washington. I'm going to take us and look at the radar here. As you can see, there is quite a bit of snow that is falling around the Seattle area that continues to come in. Temperatures are hovering right around freezing, maybe a little bit above. We have the snow reports. We have a little bit of mixed precipitation. I don't see any rain reports. It's all either mixed or snow with these temperatures. This is 37 degrees. The dew point is probably just above freezing. So I would say if it is 37 degrees there, at reading there, it is probably mixed precipitation and or rain. But then we head over to the Spokane area. You all are also experiencing some colder temperatures and some precip around. It's been snowing in the Spokane area all morning long. You go up higher in elevation, above 2,500 feet, it is pretty much all snow. You get down below 2,000 feet or so, and it's mixed precipitation or rain, especially the closer you are to the water. So and we do have a winter weather advisory for the Spokane area starting tonight through tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., where 2 to 4 more inches of snow is expected for this area. Spokane area up north a little bit, and then down south you will see some snow. So let's now back out a little bit and we will go further east. Montana, you are not too cold. It has been much colder in Marches of the past, but this March you are not experiencing a ton of cold weather. You have definitely have had your bouts of cold weather, and it has been windy, very, very windy. It was windy there yesterday with that low pressure system that moved in off of the Pacific coast and created a very potent low here. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But your wind has been abundant, but your temperatures have not been too low. Now we are seeing some wind reports here in southeastern Wyoming, and then you go over to the east even more, and it's cold, but it's not bitterly cold. That's going to change here. I'll talk about that too this weekend. It's going to change this weekend. We have some wind reports here into Ohio, West Virginia, and western Pennsylvania with some snow to the north. This is a severe thunderstorm warning here for central Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the radar to see how that actually looks on radar. Zoom in here a little bit so we can take a look at that. Turn off the radar sites, and then I'll go ahead and animate it. You can see why they put a severe thunderstorm warning on this cell right here in the middle where the orange is. And let's see how much longer this 3/4 inch hail, radar indicated 70-mile-per-hour winds. Damage threat is considerable. This severe thunderstorm watch. Okay, the storm which prompted the warning have moved out of the warned area, therefore warning has been canceled. Okay, the warning has been canceled. So this storm, it still looks pretty potent on radar, but they don't think, the National Weather Service doesn't think that it's actually severe criteria anymore. So there you go. But this thunderstorm bubble is just for general thunderstorms, not severe weather. So there must have been many dynamics that came together. It is pretty chilly up there too, 48, 39, and then some snow up here to the north. So that's how turbulent March is. You just never know. It can be pretty wild. It's a pretty wild month. You head down into Florida. You're pretty warm. However, there is a trough that has been draped over the very tip of South Florida today, which is creating that bad weather. So the temperatures are warm, but the weather is not good. It's not beach weather today. You see this symbol here is for flood, rain, and flooding going on, street and road flooding, streets are closed, vehicles stranded, that sort of thing. I used to live in the Miami area, so those very, very low-lying part of Florida, as you can probably imagine, and it floods there very easily. So I'm not surprised by that. We'll see here on the satellite imagery here in a moment that trough that is draped over South Florida, giving them all the rain. So the rest of the country is pretty quiet as far as weather is concerned. So let's go over next to the watches, warnings, and advisories for the country. As you can see, we have a lot of activity, a lot of watches, warnings, and advisories going on, except for the southeast into the south. You're pretty quiet today. But with all of these systems coming in off the Pacific coast and then moving across and bringing weather with it and the temperatures in place, we have lots of, the purples are winter weather advisories. We have winter storm warnings here for the Cascades. We have an avalanche warning for northwest Montana. We have winter storm warnings, high wind watches. We have blizzard warnings for northeast South Dakota with all of that wind there, creating blizzard conditions. And then this blue right here is winter storm watches. And then high wind watches here for southern Michigan into Ohio. You saw those wind reports here as well. And then almost the entire state of Maine has a winter weather advisory out for it. So that's all we have around the country as far as that is concerned. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the satellite imagery. I will show us here in Florida really quick. This is that trough that has been hanging out over South Florida pretty much all day. It's starting to break up a little bit, but that's what's creating all of that rain and that flooding down there that's being reported. And then we go up here into the Pacific Northwest, and you see this precipitation that's coming in. I showed you on radar out there with the snow around the Puget Sound. Definitely have snow in the mountains. Both passes of the northern Cascades called Stevens Pass and the central Cascades along I-90 called Snoqualmie Pass. Both of those passes are closed. Now, Snoqualmie Pass is expected to be closed most of the day today, which does make it difficult, but there's lots of snow that has fallen. There's snow that continues to fall. It is snowing heavily. We have lots of downed trees. We have lots of spin outs from vehicles, and so they have closed Snoqualmie Pass in that way. So if you have any travel or are thinking of traveling between eastern and western Washington, just don't do it today. Wait until over the weekend when it's going to be a lot better and clearer for travel. So then you head over to eastern Washington. You see the snow into the Spokane area with a little bit of rain down to the south, and then some light snow into Idaho and all of Montana. Not all of Montana, but a good part of Montana, especially central and western Montana. You are seeing some snow in the Billings area as well. And then here's this low pressure system that's currently over. This is Michigan area into Canada with those westerly winds bringing in the cooler air, but we do have some rain and then these thunderstorms that popped up into central Pennsylvania and then snow up to the north here. And then the southerly winds are bringing in the warmth into North Carolina, into Virginia. But again, like I said, it is pretty clear and a really nice day down here in the south if you happen to live in the south. But this is going to change on Sunday. So let's take a look at where we are, I've talked a lot about this week the dew points and the stickiness. And this right here is that front that finally passed through and was stuck out here for a while on Tuesday, and then it moved east on Wednesday, and then it continued to move east on Thursday, and now we're finally at Friday. Created the severe weather and tornadoes. Lots of tornadoes this week. Lots of reports of tornadoes this week for the central and eastern part of the country. I'm going to back up this time frame a little bit so you can see where we came from. This is Tuesday morning. Now if you remember, we had lots of tornadoes that broke out into Oklahoma, Texas, and then up into the Illinois and Indiana areas because of all of this moisture that was there available in a low pressure system. And it just interacted with instability, and it just everything just sort of blossomed from there. Now, as we move along in time, it finally pushed through with the more stable and drier air, but it took a while. And as you can, if you recall, we had some severe weather into Louisiana and Mississippi, and then it just kept marching east. And then we had some tornado warnings into North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia. You all got into the action. South Carolina, you all got into the action of severe weather this week. Now, you've had a respite today for a lot of this area and tomorrow, but by Sunday, this is going to change for you with the severe weather heading back in to the picture. As you can see, this front, I love watching these fronts just push through and tell the picture. Now we have calmer weather here. It's still pretty humid with that trough that's hanging out here in South Florida, but I talked about that already. Now, this is the low pressure system. There is the system that is going to go back. I'm going to go back to this one. The system that is going to come into the Pacific Northwest tonight into tomorrow. This is going to catch up with a low pressure system that's over here currently. It's going to connect with it, and then that is what's going to develop and really become robust and create a huge snow issue with wind and snow here into the upper Midwest, into this area, with a dragging cold front that's going to interact with more moisture coming up from the Gulf, and instability that's going to be available, and creating that severe weather on Sunday, and then pushing east, and then it'll be over here on Monday. So that's what's going to happen. Everything's going to come into the Pacific Northwest tonight into tomorrow, and then it's going to move east and head southeast and create that situation here on Sunday. So I wanted to point that out as well. Now, this is I love looking at these infrared images as well. This is as of right now. You have this system coming into the Pacific Northwest that I just showed you with all of that snow, and that's just going to continue almost like an atmospheric river. It is an atmospheric river coming in and streaming into Montana, but it's bringing wind to you guys, not some precipitation, but also some wind as well. And then this low pressure system that is creating all of that snow and wind here into the upper Midwest and to New England area. And you all down to the south here are pretty nice and quiet until you get to South Florida. So I wanted to show that as well. So now we're going to take a look at what is coming up. And what is coming up is, this is current day. This is that low pressure system here that is currently bringing that snow. And then as you see, there's a low pressure here that's hanging out in the Wyoming area with a high pressure here. Now, this front sag south, this is I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. Move this over a little bit so you can see. There we go. Okay, so this low pressure comes inland. The precipitation sags south, bringing with it snow to the Spokane area, some more snow in the mountains. And then by Saturday afternoon, it connects with this low pressure system here, bringing snow into Montana. You're going to get some more snow, but then it pushes east and brings snow into the Dakotas, into Minnesota, into Wisconsin, and then it starts to gain a lot of steam. So as you can see here, we have that low pressure that deepens here into the center part of the country. This is Iowa on Sunday morning. And then snow and wind. You see all this wind up here. I'm sure there's going to be high wind watches and warnings that are going to be put in place for places like Minneapolis, into Madison, Wisconsin, into the UP of Michigan, into Northwest Lower Michigan. And then that dragging cold front that picks up steam Sunday afternoon, bringing that severe weather into Illinois again, into Missouri, into Arkansas, into Louisiana, into Texas, and then marching east, bringing with it all of that instability. That line is so defined. I have been watching this all week long and it has not changed. It's just where is the most logical and likely place going to be for severe weather and the potential for tornadoes anywhere along this line. And you see that cold air that's behind it with the snow to the north. And then it looks like there's going to be some ice and mixed precipitation there as well into Michigan. And then just this is into Monday. So then it heads east on Monday with that cold air behind it. I don't think that cold air is going to catch up in time to give you snow into the mid-Atlantic like you had yesterday. I know you all love that so much, but not really. But I don't think it's going to catch up in time to turn this precipitation into snow for you all on Monday. This is Monday night. So then by Tuesday, things should start to clear out. But as you can see, this trough really digs out here with this colder air, this high pressure in place. So by Tuesday, everything should be cleaned out, and it'll be chilly, but it should be a clear day, a clear weather day. Not so, except for you all up into Northwest Lower Michigan, Southwest Lower Michigan. You will all be cold. That wind will be in place. So you will probably see some lake effect snow on Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon until this system gets out of the way. So that's what we have. And then we're going to continue with some rain out here into the Pacific Northwest, but it's going to be much warmer. So unfortunately, it's going to turn into, let me bring this back out west. It's going to turn into rain for a lot of these areas, even into the mountains. And then by the middle of next week, you all see this trough out here in the east. Pull this back out here, trough out here in the east, and then we have a ridge out here in the west. Here's this, there's a couple of high pressures here that are going to create sort of a little heat dome. And all the way up in here into Washington State, you're going to see temperatures close to 70 degrees on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, with temperatures in the 80s and just some really robust warmth here, a little heat dome for our middle to late March, so to the third week of March. So that's what we have going on today through Monday, and then talk a little bit about what's happening for the middle to the end of next week when we get into that warmth. But that's what we have going on. Now, this is for Sunday. Really quickly, this is the severe weather chances. They already have an enhanced circle here for Indiana and Illinois, and this is Missouri, the southeastern Missouri, and almost all of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and western Tennessee and western Kentucky as well. So this whole area, you will be under an enhanced risk for severe weather on Sunday. And this whole area is going to be in a risk for severe weather anyway. But as we get closer to Sunday, tomorrow, Saturday, I will be putting out more forecasts, more updates, and more shorts to keep everybody in the know. And then as we see severe weather coming in on Sunday, I will be posting all of these warnings that come out. I usually post them on my X account because that's, instantaneous. And then my longer forecasts will be on YouTube, and shorter forecasts will also be on YouTube and Facebook and elsewhere. So if you would like to continue to follow me, I will be keeping everybody up to date with all this weather. But like I said, we have a turbulent next 3-4 days coming. And then we'll see what happens because I'm here to forecast and talk about the weather. All right, guys, I hope you're having a good Friday afternoon and evening wherever you are. And I will talk to you later. But for now, this is Kate Weatherwise saying goodbye.